you've had interactions with artists over the years that made you feel a way. Now, we don't have to say any names, but I saw you saw I interviewed some of them and they actually you watched the interview and it made you appreciate aspects of them or reconsider that you had them
Yeah.
wrong, right? You know what I'm saying? But you've also experienced this in the Christian hip hop space where you're at a show and you say what up and they respond awkwardly and you think, oh, this person's got an ego or something like that. But then when you really sit and talk with them, you realize, oh, they just lack some social skills or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, right? Yeah. Can you talk about some of those experiences? Like, I think that the main point is kind of like to end on a positive note of like, this is why we don't judge people.
Yeah. I've I'm grateful for those experiences because they have definitely kept me from uh having some sort of animosity or just judging somebody. It's been plenty of times, like you just said, yo, I've met somebody, they've been socially awkward. I didn't see it that way. I'm just like, yo, he's a jerk. Like he's full of himself. And then these people, after conversing with them and then hearing them even share their heart about being socially awkward and uncomfortable in these big public spaces, it has now made me patient. So I don't jump the gun right away when I do meet somebody that may just like don't sometimes like I remember one time where the dude like I said what's up and he just turned around. And I think yeah. So I think normally I would have went to freaking jerk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
but I was just like, oh, okay, maybe something's going on. And sure enough, like, yo, I got to talk to them later and they was mad cool. It was actually a fan. Like, oh man, Meyer, what you do? And I didn't bring it up to him, but in my mind, I was like, man, I said what's up to you, straight turn. I don't know. He probably felt awkward and was trying to turn before I even said what's up. He committed to his turning around. He committed to that joint already and just did it, even though I'm like, what up? So
He's like, I can't bust this illegal U-turn
yeah,
right
yeah, word. And just turn around and then just make it worse. He probably was like, dang, I could have said what's up to Datin. But and it's
Yeah.
like, yo, there's a couple people that you interviewed and as far as their social media presence, they buttholes. But then when you hear them share their heart, I'm like, I like this dude. Yo, he cool. So you've made me a fan of a couple people where I'm just like, as far as their personality, where my interaction with them would be different. I immediately thought they was douchebags. You know what I'm saying?
You see, I do some good things, guys.
You
Okay,
do,
so you
you
guys that
do.
criticize and be like, oh, you just cause more problems for people and stuff. Come on, man. See, changing
Mm.
perspective for people, man.
I don't see you causing problems for other people. You just, man, this is stuff that you're asking them based on information that you can find yourself. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
but
just kind of
some
good.
people feel like I'm trying to bait people into answering stuff, but it's like honestly, like if you really knew the amount of stuff that I've cut from interviews, like on my own free will, without the person asking, I'm like, yo, that wasn't really that good. Like I should, or like I'll tell them, I'll be like, yo, man, I don't know if we should put this out. Like we just had a
Yeah.
conversation about something possibly not putting something out too, like earlier, and I didn't give you no trouble. I was like, yeah, we could do that. We could cut that. I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah, I don't want to get no picture text to my phone, them holding your head. You decapitated. Like you next, you next. Or vice versa. They
Right,
gonna say,
right.
yo, don't put this interview out freaking with my head on a
Right.
platter.
No.
God forbid.
But I just think that like people sometimes they don't hold other people accountable to a certain extent where it's like, look, it's a grown man on a podcast talking. If he didn't want to answer the question, he necessarily didn't have to answer the question. He could say, or they control how they answer it,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? Like, when you see me interview people, do you really see me like push people? Like, you know
Nah,
what I
not
mean?
at
Like,
all. Not at all. And I'm watching. I never seen you
right. I
push.
don't like apply that pressure like crazy or anything like that, like,
Nah.
yeah, I don't know, man. But again, this is like one of the things that you and I have spoken about where it's like people will see something and they'll like to twist it in their own way for whatever they want to believe,
Yeah.
right? And they put it out there.
Yeah. People got nothing better to do but to want to be mad about something, want to have something to complain about, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man.